guys, it's Traci Chen here and I'm back with another YouTube video. I know we've taken a little bit of a break, but hopefully we'll be able to release one video per week up until Christmas. So today's video is going to be on outer regional South Australia and how to obtain the 491 and maybe the 190 visa there. So first of all, before we get started, as you know, I'm an immigration lawyer based in Australia. I have a law firm and we are based in Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane. However, we have lawyers that are working all across Australia. I'll leave our contact details below if you want to reach out or book a consultation with myself or one of our awesome lawyers and migration agents. So today's video is going to be purely focused on outer regional South Australia. Now, I'm sure you've probably heard about this stream before. Oh, outer regional South Australia, apply 491, apply 190 there. But how does it actually really work? Now, at the time of recording this video, which is the end of October, I think today is Halloween, we have already lodged a lot of applications for our clients under this stream, and we've already successfully had a lot of invitations under this stream. And that's why I'm doing this video now. When they first published the requirements, yes, it had the requirements online, but I still wanted to test the stream first before I go and make a recording about this stream. So let's talk about it step by step and how you could be eligible for an application and how you could be eligible under this stream. So first of all, to be eligible, you do have to be living and working in outer regional South Australia. Now, a lot of people are asking if you're in another state, can you apply? The answer is no. The whole purpose of this stream is to support the skilled labor shortage in regional South Australia. They had this stream last financial year. I can't remember the previous financial year, but last financial year, it was excellent. For a lot of our clients who went there, lived there, met the requirements, lodged an application, they were all invited essentially. Okay, so before you're even eligible for this, just make sure you're eligible for an expression of interest under Skills Select. So you have to meet the expression of interest requirements. So what does that actually mean? You have to have an eligible occupation, you have to be under 45 years of age, and you have to score at least competent English, which is equivalent to 6 in each band for IELTS. So that's the basis of the expression of interest requirements. So say for example, I'm an accountant, I have a positive skills assessment with CPA. I am 29 years old. I'm not, but anyway. I have scored proficient English, so 7 in each band. Based on that, I'm eligible for an expression of interest in Skills Select. Next, you have to then check if you're eligible under the outer regional South Australia stream, which is what's more important at this stage. So what are the requirements? Now, the requirements for 491 and 190 are slightly different. However, we can talk about it as a whole in this video. So you must be living and working in outer regional South Australia for the past 6 months. Now, the key thing here is that you don't need to be working in your nominated occupation. So to be eligible, you can be living and working in outer regional South Australia, working in any nominated occupation for at least 30 hours per week or 60 hours per fortnight. So make sure that you are working those number of hours. There are some people who are working 30 hours, but then they have lunch breaks and the pay slip shows a little bit less. I'm not saying it doesn't work if you do apply. I've definitely seen instances where they still accept it, but just to make sure you don't get a refusal and to make your application the best you can, make sure you're working that full 30 hours per week. Now, what is outer regional South Australia? Now, as you may know, the whole of South Australia is actually considered regional for the purposes of Department of Home Affairs regional postcode purposes. However, just for the purposes of Immigration South Australia, they've differentiated South Australia, they call it Metro South Australia, and then they've got outer regional South Australia. Now, there is a really nice PDF which actually has all the postcodes with the suburbs on there. I'll drop a link below. So if you're looking to apply under outer regional South Australia, you must be living in one of these postcodes. Outer regional South Australia is one of the only streams in South Australia that will allow an applicant to apply if you're not working in your nominated occupation. Because if you go to the occupation list and you have a look at the requirements under your occupation, it has like Graduate of South Australia stream, it has working in South Australia stream, and then it has outer regional South Australia, and it's got like offshore as well. So if you're in Adelaide, say for example, and you are an accountant but you're not working in your field, you wouldn't be eligible because you're not working in your nominated occupation. Only outer regional South Australia allows for that, basically. So you must be living and working for the past 6 months in any field. So for example, we had a client who was an accountant. I believe had been living and working in South Australia since beginning of February this year, and then took some time to get to the requirements. So she was eligible basically when South Australia released their requirement. She was working at Woolworths as a Woolworths staff member, and we lodged the application. She was invited, I think 3 weeks after from memory. So that's just an example. If you're not working in your nominated occupation, you can still be invited to apply. We had another client who was an electrical engineer. So his skills assessment was done through Engineers Australia as an electrical engineer. He had 80 points, so he had 65 points without the state points, then he had 15 points from the state. So in total, he had 80 points. He was working at a Telstra shop as a Telstra team member, and again, met the requirements, was living, working out there for at least 6 months. After 6 months, we applied and he was invited for the 491 visa. So if you meet the skill select requirements and you have a nominated occupation, you go to the occupation list in South Australia, you just check your occupations actually in the South Australian occupation list. You check if it's eligible under the outer regional stream, and then you go to the outer regional stream requirements and you make sure that you meet those requirements. Based on that, you could potentially lodge an expression of interest and a state nomination to be nominated for the 491 under the outer regional South Australia stream. Now, in some instances, if you're working in a skill level 1 or 2 job and you're making at least $65,000 per annum, you could be invited for the 190 visa. So for example, you're an accountant, but you're working as a chef, okay? Because chef is a skill level 2 job and you're making over $65,000 per year, you could potentially lodge a state nomination for the 190 visa, which is obviously pretty cool. Now, it is best if your employer can support this application. And what I mean by that is providing a really nice reference letter to say that they're fully in support of your application. Your skills and your contribution is very much needed in regional South Australia. I don't know if you guys, for those who are not actually living in regional South Australia or South Australia, regional South Australia is actually quite regional. It's not like in New South Wales where like you've got regional states, regional areas such as Wollongong, which is quite populated. There's like 1 million people there, isn't there? Or maybe a little bit less. But it's quite populated. It's its own city essentially. Whereas in regional South Australia, it's quite small. For example, I'm aware that there's a suburb called Mount Gambier, which I've visited many times. They have this like blue lake there, which is really cool. And I think there's like 40,000 people there. And that's like one of the biggest like regional towns in South Australia. So anyway, gives you an indication of how regional South Australia is. But that's a good thing. But that's why they are promoting this stream and they want more people to go there. These suburbs need more population for them to grow, essentially. Now, the requirements I just went through are the requirements for the actual applicant, but there are some requirements also for the employer. Now, in no way is this an employer-sponsored visa, so don't worry about that. But Immigration SA does set some requirements for the actual employer. So what are they? The employer must be in outer regional South Australia. So the definition of that must mean that they must have a physical presence in regional South Australia. So probably have an office or some sort of registration, I guess there. There must be an existing business for at least the last 12 months and have a premise located in outer regional South Australia. So for example, I have a couple of clients who are working for a couple of aged care homes as support workers. Those aged care homes are based in Mount Gambier. Big property, can't run from that. I'm sure they meet the requirements for that. And last of all, the business must be of good standing and have no adverse information. So that would be the basic requirements for an application under outer regional South Australia. Now, my experience over the last year for this stream has been excellent. So a lot of our clients who are kind of, you would say running out of time or like don't have many other options due to their occupation, due to the popularity of their occupation, also due to, their job situation. Regional South Australia is probably one of the pathways that we advise is the best option for them. So after watching my video and everything that I've just said, if you believe you meet the requirements for this, what you would do is first of all, make an application in Skills Select for an expression of interest for the 491 visa in South Australia. Some states are very particular with how they invite. You can only select one visa, you can only have 491 or 190 or whatever. South Australia less strict, but look, the way that I instruct my lawyers to prepare applications is, look, it's just easier to create a fresh EOI for each application. The hard work is done in the first application, so the second job isn't too hard to do. So I would just have a separate expression of interest for each separate state and also for the separate stream. So in this case, you would just lodge an expression of interest for 491. And second of all, you would complete a state nomination application for the 491 visa. Now, as I previously mentioned, do make sure you get the right legal or migration advice before you make any application. I've honestly seen a lot of applicants who have come to us, who have made an application, and when they're invited, so the expression of interest is actually locked, they're unable to change anything and they've incorrectly claimed points, which is an absolute waste of invitation. It's a waste of your own time, and it's very stressful as well. So do make sure of that. Now, once you get your state nomination, that's it. You are invited to apply for the visa. Then all you have to do is submit the documentation. Now, the department do their own due diligence, so you do have to make sure that everything you've claimed on the expression of interest and everything you've claimed to the state immigration essay, do make sure that you are able to evidence all of that, because it doesn't matter the state have approved it, the department will also do their own due diligence in relation to that. So you still have to be able to prove everything. Now, I hope you guys found that video very helpful. Again, it's just a general guideline. Hope it gives you an insight into how the program works and whether you are eligible or not. Now, based on that, if you think you're eligible, you can book a consultation with us. Our details are listed below. You can book a consultation with myself or one of our fabulous lawyers. And if we assess it and we're comfortable with everything, we will be able to assist and make an application for you. And then from there, it's just a waiting game. But in saying that, this financial year, it's been excellent. A lot of our clients have been invited. I can't say all of them yet. I strongly believe that a lot of them will get invited. It's super, super exciting because they've added an extra 35,000 places to the migration planning levels, which is huge. So it's a good indication that this year is the year for migration. So if you've been thinking about it, or you have previously lodged but you don't think you really understood your strategy, this year will be your year. Now, if you guys enjoyed that video, please don't forget to like and subscribe and share it with people who need it. It really helps my channel. And also comment in the video section if you want to hear about any other immigration topics. Now, I am on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. On there, I actually put short videos, little snippets of immigration information, and it actually works really well for me because immigration changes like every day. Like every day I'm just getting my head around something and then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's changed again. Instagram, TikTok is a great platform for me to keep everybody informed on all the changes really quickly. Here on this platform, I am able to do longer videos, but obviously they take time. And I don't think I'm that great at recording long videos yet. I'm slowly getting to it. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.